Alright, we are back for round 1 on the draw, but with a very solid hand. Hopefully we can just, use these implements to force the cub through whatever blocker my opponent might try to throw at it. That being said, them being white or red might mean that the cub just dies right away. Now there's an argument to play the Bandar first, so if they have a shock, they use it on the cub first, but if they have nothing, this is much better, and cub is really a card you want to play as soon as possible, so you make it bigger, you get the counter, and you can just use it, jam it basically. So you did have the Revolt, and now we have the choice between Bandar, Implement, or Guide, and I like the Bandar play slightly more. Right now I cannot exactly tell you why, but it just feels better to me to go this way than the Guide. I think it's because a 3/3 can attack through more things than a 3/2. But again, I kind of have a hard time telling exactly why I like this play more than the other. Here we're cycling a lot of implements, which again, as I said in the draft portion, makes you more likely to float out, and it's pretty much what's happening right now, which is unfortunate. But at some point we'll stop drawing lands, hopefully. Good news is that Bandar is out of range of Chandra's Revolution, and my opponent already used a Revolt that can deal with any size of creature on the cub, which means that the Bandar is pretty likely going to be working well and dealing a lot of damage. Gifted Aetherborn was a good top deck. I could just put all the counters on the Aetherborn next upkeep, but if my opponent happens to draw a Revolt, then I kind of get 2 for 1. So I'm not sure about that. We'll see. They might not have a Revolt though, but yeah. A 7/8 Death Touch Lifing is probably not something a white-red deck can beat if they don't have a second Coded in Bright or a Thopter Arrest. Obviously it will depend on what my opponent does here, but I might just choose to put some counters. Maybe all the counters, maybe not. We'll see. Would assume that this is pretty threatening for my opponent, especially since I still have 3 cards in hand. They obviously don't know that it's only lands, but I have a really good board here, a nice tempo advantage, 3 cards in hand, so pretty medium spot for the opponent all in all. But I think with 1 Revolt they easily get in better shape. Thopter Arrest, alright. They could still have a Coded in Bright in their hand because you don't really want to Coded in Bright a Bandar, obviously. They had the Arrest anyways. Pretty sure I'm happy enough trading my 2/3 for the 3/5 when it's gonna trade with something else otherwise. Alright, we are getting quite flooded here. Gonna use the ability, this way I don't trade with Gear Smasher, which I feel like is a weaker card. My opponent is at 10, I'm at 19. If I can trade with the Wheelsmith, I'm super happy. Feels like a fine move. They have 1 card left in hand, but they have a slightly better board, and obviously I'm quite flooded here despite playing 16 lands. There's only 7 lands left in my library, which is less than a third. But I think I can't really afford to draw any more land, especially if my opponent has 1 spell, 1 land in hand, I might not be in the worst shape. If they have 2 spell, I really need to just draw a couple spells in a row, otherwise it's just gonna be game over. They did not do anything, which indicates either a removal or the fact that they are flooded too. If they had a removal, like a shock or something, they should probably have used it during their turn. To play around infusion or this type of thing. They happen to have a shot, which doesn't change match, I guess. The fact that they got a scry and put on top is really bad news for us, though. I think we'll just end up losing to the lands we drew here, unfortunately. Because here we are going down to 9, then next turn we have no good block, and we are going down to 2. If they have a punch spell, they kill us next turn, no matter what we can put as a blocker. If we draw a removal, we are not in a great shape. We pretty much need to draw a 4-power creature and them not having anything, so I can just snap kill them with with infusion. We don't have a ton of creature with more than 3 power in the deck, though. By the way, I think my opponent should have Skywheeler shot during their turn to play around Blossoming Defense. It's an uncommon from Kaladesh, so there's only 1 pack, but still. I don't think you gain a ton by using the shot during my turn. You give me 1 more draw step to potentially draw something like defense. And if I already had the defense, you might as well do it during your turn so you take 2 less damage, which, definitely changed the clock. So I don't agree with this move. There's a couple of reasons why you wanna shot later. Maybe if I play something like a Gearhulk, or I try to a Verdurous Gearhulk to pump my creature, or I try to I don't know, to use a Nora, but it's not very likely that you get more. You'll get more value. And there's a couple cards that really, mostly Blossoming Defense, I think. But there are ways where not using the shot right away is not good for you. I don't really know what my opponent is doing here. I'm gonna send a question mark because I don't really get it. Maybe it's just they just had to answer someone or whatever, but I don't really know why we are stopped on my upkeep. Hopefully it will not last. No, and they are not disconnected, so maybe they they just had to answer the door or phone call, whatever. At this point, I don't have a ton of great outs again. A 4-power creature would be pretty good, but might not be enough. If they have a pump spell in hand, I lose no matter what, I think. A removal would just probably delay the inevitable. Something like Fatal Push would be really bad. A card like Narnem Renegade would not really do it. I don't have a lot of good draws here. Not sure what my opponent is doing though. I'm gonna wait a couple more minutes. No, couple more, not minutes, couple more seconds, maybe 30 seconds, and then I'll just stop the recording and do another one, because I mentioned that a couple times, but I'm working with OBS and I cannot just pause the video and restart the recording, and it's pretty annoying to just make some different videos and edit them together. I don't really want to spend time doing that, so I'll just try to wait a little bit. Unfortunately, I don't have a ton of things to say right now. I think I've covered most important stuff. Bandar is not amazing, but it's better than a land, I guess. But again, we are going down to 2 here. We don't have lethal next turn, no matter what we draw, I think. So I really doubt we have any out. Alright, yeah, the opponent just drew 6 land when we drew 9 lands, and that's the game. They just have 3 more creatures onto the battlefield now. And I really doubt we have any out. I'm just gonna check, but yeah, it's gonna be another land. Alright, that's gonna do it. Unfortunate, but you know, shit happens. Hopefully we can draw less lands next game. This is some type of white-red aggro deck. Prowler is usually decent against white-red, but I haven't seen a ton of actual one-toughness creature yet, so I'm not thrilled about that. If they have a couple Ospreys, Elite could be decent, but I still like Artisan more than Elite. They probably have some artifact, and they showed 2 enchantment that I can remove with Appetite. I don't think I'm gonna side in Creeping Mold, but I'm definitely keeping the Appetite in the main. I don't think this is a bad matchup. I don't think there's much we should be changing. I think we just need to draw a decent land spell ratio, and then we should be in fine shape. But yeah, basically my opponent drew 3 more spells than I did because I drew 3 land. I just don't think there's anything else to be said about this game, because with 3 creatures I would probably have been able to maybe kill them or at least not die. Even 1 more creature could have been decent. Probably not enough because of the Willsmith, but would have been better. Looks like they have a decent white-red aggro deck. They showed Top Terrorist, which is a great uncommon. Willsmith is also one of the better uncommon in this deck. Other than that, I feel like black-green has a better matchup because I probably have a little bit more card advantage, even though this version of black-green doesn't have a ton of card advantage. My creatures are going to be bigger, and you know, I have enough Revolt to deal with their biggest threat, I think. And the fact that, again, my creatures are slightly bigger in general just makes the matchup pretty good. That's at least my analysis of how this should go. Now it might just be very different in reality. Slightly annoying that my opponent's taking ton of time to sideboard and to play the games. It's just annoying. Not sure if they are, they have to do something IRL that they need to deal with, or they are maybe watching something at the same time, which would be pretty annoying. Not a ton I can do though. Again, I cannot just, since I'm working with OBS, I can just, I don't really want to make 10 different videos of 3 minutes and edit them together afterwards. It just takes a lot of time. It's not fun to do. And hopefully you can just play at a decent pace from now on. Yeah. It's a bit boring. Don't really mind losing, don't really mind, drawing too many lands, it just happens, but playing against someone really slow is always annoying and not very fun to do. And I think if my opponent just takes another 1 minute to do a play or something along this line, I'm just gonna stop the recording and try to, record another draft later on. Because I don't think this is fun to watch, and for me, I don't care. I can just, watch something else. I think there's cheapy Pittsburgh going on now, so I can just, watch some games and play as slow as my opponent plays. But for the purpose of, giving you guys some good content, I might just stop this recording. Like if my opponent is not back at 17-0-0, I'm just gonna stop the recording. And if they take another, I don't know, several minutes break at some point, I'm also gonna stop the recording. Really sorry. If you see this uploaded though, there should be some more magic later on, and you can probably just skip and go to the point where my opponent starts playing. Alright, looks like we'll be able to play some magic. It's pretty annoying though. It's one of the worst feeling. Just playing against someone who's not really there and who doesn't do anything. It's just annoying. Just don't like it. As a chaser, we'll go we'll go Fatal, push that, drop a Bandar, and that's pretty much a dream start. So if my opponent doesn't have a Revolt, they pretty much lose. And even if they do, we are doing fine. I could see one of their enchantment removal getting used on the cub. Hungry Flames. Alright, that does the same thing. We'll drop Poisoner, which was not a bad draw. Pretty much anything but Forest is a good draw in the deck right now. And I think we have 5 more Forests, so we have 5 dead draws, and everything else is good. I guess Lifecraft Cavalry we could not cast right away, but I don't think this is really much of an issue. Ibex. Alright. So I think the move is put a counter here. And this way we can hunt the weak on the Ibex, kill it, and attack for 4 and get a servo out, which is fine. It's not the best move if they end up having a revolt for the Poisoner, but it's probably the best thing we can do this turn. That being said, if I draw a black for Daring Demolition, I might change my mind. On the other hand, Daring Demolition can deal with anything where Hunt the Weak is cannot. I mean, we have pretty small creatures, so it cannot deal with bigger stuff, so I think I still like using Hunt the Weak more. Obviously, we drew the the Forest, which, as I mentioned, was one of our only dead draw. One of the 5 forests. Hopefully, we don't draw more forest. But since the opponent has like 4 cards in hand, which are probably mostly spells, and we don't have a ton of good things going on here, this could go poorly. No reason to move counters here, I don't think so. We drew black, which is good. I'm really surprised to that I'm getting quite flooded with a 16 land deck, and I did not even keep hands with a lot of lands, so it's kind of weird. Yeah, this is not looking good. I don't think I want to use Daring Demolition on the Smasher when, if I do that, I only get 2 damage through, which is not a lot, not really enough. My opponent might play a much more threatening creature, and yeah, it just doesn't feel like a great thing to do. Interestingly enough, they did not attack here. Which I guess makes sense, because if I pump one of my 2 creatures or move the counter on the servo, they don't really want to trade with Osprey and don't really want to take 2 either. Probably just going to boost the servo here. We do Appetite for the Unnatural. Not bad, not bad. Alright, no good attack here. We'll pass the turn. I can Appetite the Thopter Arrest, it's just not super exciting. I might just do it though. So I could Appetite the Arrest, put a counter on the servo, attack with servo, and yeah, that seems fine. I think I'm probably gonna go for that move. We drew another Implement, which is fine, I guess. I don't think there's any point in boosting the Poisoner or the servo I'm gonna get off the Poisoner. I think I'm fine making this a 4/4. And now I might just go Daring Demolition the Osprey so my opponent cannot double block the servo, because I think they might want to do that. I'm happy enough trading my Poisoner for their 2/3. Yeah, this feels fine. And they spend their last 2 turns with 6 mana only casting 2/2 for 3, so I kind of doubt they have something more threatening, like, I don't know, a Regent in hand, or yeah, something really big and threatening. They might have been slow rolling that, thinking I had a Revolt. That's an option, but here I think it's time to just get a bit more offensive and make sure they cannot make the double block here. And now either they take 5 and go down to 5, and I'm pretty happy about that because I'm most likely getting another servo next turn and another attack with my Poisoner. Either they trade with Poisoner, but then it makes it less likely that they can just double block my 4/4 servo, which, you know, I'm also happy if this happens. They choose to block, which I'm fine with. Looks like they are a little bit flooded too, which is good for us. They do have the Revolt on the servo, and they are willing to trade 2 damage for 1. Or maybe they have another blocker. Looks like another blocker. Guardian on the Osprey. Alright. Yeah, that's not bad. Drew Bandar, which is fine. Basically the board is pretty even here. Slightly better for my opponent, but not by a lot. But they're at 6 and I'm at 16. And I'm potentially playing less land than they are. So overall this feels like not the worst for me. Not gonna move counter, it doesn't do anything. Just gonna pass the turn and hopefully we can just, you know, get out of this flood machine that my deck is right now. The upside of putting 2 counters here is that if I draw my 3rd implement, I can attack with a 4/4. I don't think it's extremely likely though. It's pretty much all in for no reason. Alright, that was a great top deck, obviously. This will not... This cannot be blocked, this cannot be blocked either. And now my opponent is quite dead unless they have something or top deck something. I'm pretty sure they are as flooded as we are though, so this might just be game. And Tethered Express doesn't save you here. Again, no reason to move counters around. Alright. My opponent seems pretty adamant about making me wait for my during my upkeep for literally no reason. And that's quite annoying. Nothing I can do though. Nothing I can do. Again, it's one of the things I hate the most playing online. It's when someone is just not there. Like before leagues, when there was 8-4, at least I could kind of understand it. Because yeah, they conceded. Alright. Because, you know, sometimes there was incentive to double queue, even though I don't really think it's a great idea to double queue. But now that there are leagues, if you just start a league match, just be there. Be there for your opponent, for yourself to play better. If you have something else to do, you know, a match to watch, if you want to, you know, look at someone streaming on Twitch, just do that, but don't do both things at the same time. It's just not good for your how you will play. You will play match worst, and it's just not very fair and fun for your opponent. That's just my opinion, though. So they showed an Express, and they definitely have a couple enchantment removals. And since they are playing the Gear Smasher, they probably have more artifacts, so I might want to put in the mold for the 3rd game. They also showed another Osprey, which could make the elite decent. Kind of want to play the elite over the guide on the draw. That being said, guide just won us the last game, so I'm not sure that's a great move. I'm not a huge fan of infusion on the draw, especially if my opponent saw it. I'm gonna play mold of that. And now, can I play the elite of something? I don't mind cutting a land when I'm on the draw, but here I can't really cut a land and go down to 15. Maybe I'm gonna play an elite over club security. Yeah, I'm fine with that. They have a couple flyers. We added 1 4-drop, so lowering the curve a little bit is not the worst idea, I think. And hopefully we'll be playing soon. Hand is heavy on lands, but it's a keeper. I mean, the Rebel is pretty much enabled with the Bandar if I really need to. It's one of my best 2-drop alongside one of my best 3-drop. If we end up flooding again, well, you know, it's bad luck, but I can't really mulligan that. Drawing 2 lands in a row was obviously disgustingly bad, as you already know. But, you know, when this happens, there's just not a ton you can do. I'm gonna block here. Don't really want to take unnecessary damage. Keeper was a great top deck. I haven't missed a land drop here, which is half good news, half bad news. The thing is, I don't have a lot of pressure here, and if they end up drawing their land, they are gonna have a ton more spells than I do, so it's just not very good for me. Oh, by the way, another reason my opponent should not have played their Skywhaler shot during my turn last game is just because obviously there's Revolt in this set. So using Revolt during their turn is even much worse than it was before. So again, another reason why this play was really not good on their side, I think. Ibex. Yeah, I could move the counters, but I will wait. I have no reason to do it now. I will wait until I have a target for the Rebel, basically. Appetite was a good top deck, for sure. Especially since getting a 3-3 out of nowhere at instant speed, you know, clearly has some value. Like, if my opponent just doesn't attack with Ibex and keep it back, I might very well not use the Appetite just to try trapping something or making them have a pretty poor attack at some point. The thing is, my opponent has 6 spells in hand, so I'm not thrilled about my chances this game. Alright. I'm gonna Appetite the Thopter Arrest and double block here. If they have a trick, well, they have a trick. But whatever might happen, I'm still getting my card out of the keeper, most likely. If they have nothing, it's a great trade for me. And if they have something, whatever, I still get the value. But trading a 2-2 for a 3-5 is obviously pretty nice. Brawler, alright. Daring Demolition. I think we just want to demolish that thing and start to beat down. My opponent is certainly not blocking if I attack with Keeper. And the Artisan cannot really block the Brawler, so I should probably just get a little bit aggressive here. Chaser not really threatening. Creeping Mold, pretty good here. So I guess we'll be molding the Code in the Bright and attacking with the 3-3 and passing the turn. This Treasure Keeper is gonna give me value at some point. You're not gonna stop it. You are not gonna stop it. Alright, a bunch of creatures I don't really care about. And my opponent might choose to trade their Trusty Companion for the Keeper here, which would be amazing. As Companion is not really attacking very well into Artisan. Alright, we got a guide, which is not the worst. And I'm probably gonna Vengeful Rebel the Chaser, because if I don't, I have no good attack, and I don't really care a ton about the Osprey actually. Well, I guess I can always use the guide ability to attack through. It just feels like the Chaser was a little bit more annoying than the Osprey. At least I feel like it was. Maybe it's just me. No, we'll put the counter on the Rebel, as the guide is more valuable because of its ability. Nornam Renegade, not bad. So I guess the move is probably... Yeah, I can do that now. Even if they have a way to tap it, I don't really care. Like Puncture Point, because I have nothing else to do with my mana. And now, well, if they want a double block, I'm happy. And if they don't, I'm happy too, so... Attacking with the Artisan was pretty poor though, because they could obviously go double block on the Artisan and I lose it for no reason. Looks like we're in pretty good shape here, bearing some top deck. Given what my opponent played the last couple turns, I assume they are out of fuel, or at least they don't have anything crazy good in hand. So if they have, you know, if they play a 6, 4, 5 or 6 drop here, which they kind of just did, it is mostly, you know, this was a top deck. I doubt they had that in hand. If I attack with that and they block it, they go down to 5. No, that's not a good idea. Yep, the trade happens. And, well, I drew a 9th land, so if my opponent makes a couple top deck, I might be in trouble, even though I have a decent board advantage here. And cut in a Bright, alright, that's good. Alright, well, they are at 8, I'm at 22. I'm way less likely to draw lands than they are, because there's only 8 lands left in my library, where they probably have something like 10 or 11 lands left. But you know, this is Magic, so... might still very well lose. It'd be unfortunate, though. Getting flooded almost 3 games in a row with a 16 land deck. That'd be a little bit sad, right? Pima Outrider was a good top deck. I'm gonna make it a 4/4. This way it can attack through things like Thriving Ibex. It's also slightly better if they somehow get a servo. They cannot double block. My opponent just conceded though, so we got there. And let me tell you that if they are mad because they have 1 land in hand, which would make it 9, I still drew 2 more lands, so they certainly cannot complain. This match was a little bit annoying. Like, the opponent playing super slowly and us drawing a bunch of land was not the best, but we got there, so I'm happy. Hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry if I was a little bit grumpy about them playing slowly, but you know, it's not really fun for me or for you. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. See you for round number 2.